Somebody that is not from the United States of America left a comment in one of my videos asking me about midterms. What are midterms? Why do you have them? What do they do? They didn't understand any of it, and they asked me to break it down. So I did a video explaining our election process and why we have elections every couple of years and so forth and so on. And this person, who appears to be from Canada, says, this seems like an overcomplicated process. Is that by design? No wonder voter turnout is trash. Voter turnout, first and foremost, is trash in this country because people rightfully don't have confidence in, in the systems, in the politicians, in any of it. I don't think our voting system is overcomplicated. Our government, the way our government works, is overcomplicated, and yes, that is by design. And I'll explain my thought process on that in a minute. I think our voting process is actually A, simple, and B, set up. I think, well, every 2 years we vote on the entire House of Representatives. They get 2-year terms. So every 2 years, the entire House of Representatives is up. So on a presidential election year, we vote for the entire House, and then 2 years later in the midterm, we vote for the House. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Senators who represent, so members of the House of Representatives represent a district within a state based on population, and senators represent the entire state. Senators are given 6-year terms, and we vote on 2/3 of the Senate in the midterm, and then, or a third of the Senate in the midterm, and 2/3 of the Senate in the election process. So you're constantly having turnover, new blood, whatever it is you want to talk about. The process by which our shit happens. Oh, hang on. Let me back up a minute. That's the federal elections. And then you have local elections. State elections usually happen at the same time. Like you vote on your governors at the same time you vote for your Congress people, your senators, your presidents, things of that nature. But then you have local elections, and those happen in at least here in April. So like for your mayor of your town, your village board, your school board, your library board, your township board, we do those in April on the local level. Now, the way the federal government works is overly complicated, specifically by design, so that everything slows down and people have time to debate and deliberate. The House of Representatives is where all spending bills originate. They control the purse strings, but they don't just get to pass shit all by themselves. The Senate gets a say. So once the House passes something, maybe the Senate has a different bill, and they pass a different bill, and it goes back to the House to see if they want to pass their bill or amend it, and it bounces back and forth. The Senate, like I said in an earlier video, predominantly, among many other things, but the Senate confirms judges and Supreme Court justices, and the House of Representatives doesn't really have anything to say about that. And then the two bodies act together when it's time to impeach and or remove a president. The way the federal government works is overly complicated, and it is by design. It's by design so that shit can have an opportunity to be slowed down, be debated, and be talked about and deliberated. Our election system, and maybe it's just me because, I grew up in the system and therefore it's not overly complicated to me, but the election systems themselves, or the way the elections work, to me are not overly complicated. Plus, each state runs their own election for president, for senator, for federal. So the federal government can't control. Like Donald Trump says, oh, we shouldn't have an election. Well, you don't get a fucking say, man. The states get to do that. The states run that shit. So I disagree with you that the election process is overly complicated. However, I do agree that the way our government runs is overly complicated, and yes, that is by design.